Ready? Hey, everybody! Welcome to the TWC. We are fired up out of our minds to be here today. Thank God we're living in life in America.
That's right. That's what we need. We need the James Brown, living in America. I feel good.
Oh, so many good things going on across the country, and the Alliance is on fire.
That's right. There are stories popping. It's cool. If you, by the way, if you're not on the Alliance Facebook page, and if you've got an organization that's got a Facebook page, if you are not tuned into that, I highly suggest you do. It's amazing. Just, you're missing out. I would just say it's like there is stuff popping and people are sharing, and I find it's helping me visualize what's going on. And by the way, if you're wondering, talk about this private Facebook pages. 3 months ago, I'd never looked at Facebook. So I had an account. I was like, I'm not going to be one of them social media gobbledygook just focus. So here's what I found out. If you're on a private Facebook and you go into Facebook, you can ignore the main feed and just go right to the private group and just see. So the only thing I look at on Facebook is the Alliance private group and the one we've got for our team. And that's all I see. And it's awesome. There's no political stuff. It's just like nice and clean and simple. And I like it that way. So if you're like me, you might tune into that. And I would just suggest that it keeps me very focused on what I want to do business-wise and seeing the success and seeing the results that other people are having. So I would encourage you, if you've not been invited or don't have the link, ask for it, get that, and make that a part of your business. All right. What do we want to start with today?
Well, let's see. We got a lot of great guests on the line on the show with us today. I see Jake and Veray, and I see Joseph and Lindar and Junior and Megan, and I'm so fired up to be here. But we need to talk about some of the things that Andy has going on right now. Y'all know. Oh, by the way, on that private Facebook page for the Alliance, and there is a posting on there of the events that are happening where it's free training. Okay, but you got to register and you got to RSVP for those training sessions. And I think there's one happening tomorrow. I think that's down in Florida. It might be at Andy's at the new office down there in Treasure Island. So that's tomorrow, January 14th. He's going to be in Dallas on the 8th. The Lampy team is hosting that at the Louisville office down there. And then he'll be in Burlington on February 20th. Doing a training. And so y'all are invited. It's just you got to register an RSVP for that. You know, there are certain guidelines we got to follow on that, right?
Yep.
But
Exactly.
Andy's out there, he's flying, he's traveling, he was down in Florida yesterday. He's talking to some different companies and stuff. I mean, there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. What are you doing?
I am making sure that some people that are supposed to be here have the link. Right. Some people don't have it.
I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen.
All right, you're good. All right. So we got a lot going on, trying to keep it all together here, making sure everybody knows where to be, when to be. Let's see. So stuff that's out there. Let's just kind of kick off the leaderboard so you guys can see some of what's happening. I love the leaderboard. Tia, if you can go ahead and pull it up and share that, or are we going to share it ourselves? Is that how we're doing it? Let's see if we got the sharing capability. She's got it. Yeah, she's got it. All right. So submitted business, you got to submit it before it can get issued, right? And so looking with us today, Megan Wood, 33 applications for 24,200. Just put in the work. I know she's actually got a few more that probably didn't show up in that submit report, but I know she was out seeing families last week and working day after day after day, put in 7 days in a row.
This is for the week. This past week, the 5th through the 11th. This isn't a month time frame. This is submitted in a week. 33 applications for 24,000.
And then we've got Olga and Jason Mathis with 7 applications for 28,000. And then Jeff Turner and Kelly Haney, 4 applications for 36,000. You know, there's some big IULKs. Well, I guess that was all one app for Jeff and Kelly. Imagine. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the other one. I'm sorry. 4 apps and 1 IUL. I'm looking at it wrong, but guess what, man? Hey, imagine when they get, I think they'll probably take a little bit of time off, wait till they get working, because I know those two got some hustle in them. You'll see them posting more big numbers. So now, obviously, what's most important is what gets issued, and we've got some big stuff getting issued. Billy Crane coming in with 7,500 on 10 apps. Stephanie Rodriguez here with us today, 7,700. Way to go. Junior and Jasmine, part of Phil Abear's team. That's Blatz.
Junior's on
Junior
here.
Blatz, he's with us. We've got Stephen and Holly Davies. Stephen continued to crush it, popping in 8,600 issued. Mike and Michelle Alleman at 9,100 on 10 applications. Jarrah Gonzalez, while in Hawaii and with us here today, 13 applications for 9,400. David and Linda Holt, 4 applications. Hey, way to see them up there, 9,400. Chris Manifold should be joining us here shortly if he's not, with 15 applications and 9,600. Jonathan Megan Yakey coming out of the Mike and Michelle Alleman team with 13 apps, 10,000. Jake and Ray Joseph with us here today, 15 applications, 10,700. Marcus and Carla Richardson. Marcus tannered up out there in Colorado, 16 applications, 12,000 in premium. And Megan Wood, 38 applications for 14,000 issued. So, guys, we got people issuing large chunks of business, and that was kind of what last week you say, well, that was kind of a slower week, or however it was, people kind of shaking the dust off for some folks, but we still got people that were crushing it and setting themselves up. So you're invited as we talk about 40/40 today, because if you're following 40/40, you can't help but be issuing 10,000 in a week. I promise you, as you get there, if you're doing 40/40, you'll get to a point of
I got to
issuing
turn
10,000.
his cell phone over so he.
That's right. So I don't get distracted. I know people texting me and giving me notes. Oh, goodness. All right. Noelle, you cover the annuities.
Annuities for the week. The top 5 annuity producers. Number 5, we have Mike Hartlib for $43,672. Way to go, Mike. And I know he's going to be down there in Florida with at these meetings with Andy going on. Tim Tipton, I think it is. I can see that. Make sure I have the right name here. Tim Tipton with $50,000 annuity. Yeah. Kyle and Sharkater, $88,809 annuity. Way to go. Marisol Diaz Ramirez with $100,000 annuity, part of Otsoy's team. Way to go. And then we have a number 1, 3 annuities for $361,283. Part of the Beal Agency, Kristen Landry. Way to go. Knocking it out with the annuities at the beginning of the year. Nice job.
Yep.
Top 3 Foresters producers. We have number 3, Stephanie Rodriguez, who was number 1 last year. Way to go with Foresters. She paid $6,246. Megan and Jonathan Yakey, $7,310. And then Stephen and Holly Davies crushing it with $7,400 in Foresters premium. Top 10 recruiters.
Top 10 recruiters. All right. Hey, if you're building a business, you got to find them, you got to recruit them, you got to get them started. And these are the people that are making that happen here. You see the ABTF Red Team with 3. David Cash Tampa, that's one of the coolest names in the Alliance, with 3. Mia Fennell with us today with 3. Chris and Courtney Long, and Courtney and Chris working together to make that happen with 3. Paul Roberts with 4. I know his staff, which is largely his daughter, is killing that and making that work. The ABTF Blue Team with 4. Mike Maurice is 4. Alex Abian, a guy who introduced us to this business, with number 5. So grateful that he reached out to us. Olga and Jason Mathis with 5, and Brandon and Ashley Beal with 6. So a number of people stepping up there. Congratulations. All right. I think that's it for our leaderboards. And here's a crazy thing. We've seen an improvement, an upgrade, a system-wide upgrade to the ARC was kicked in this week. And there's some neat things that are there. And as they're making that work, there's going to be some more cool visibility. So as you start to see some of the enhancements kick in because this upgrade, and they're still putting other pieces into that, as that gets humming at another high level. When we introduced the ARC, it was awesome. And they've constantly given us more upgrades to help you build your business. And if you're not aware of the value of like the CRM and the ARC, if you had a CRM system that's automatically filled for you, meaning that when you write an app electronically, it gets into your CRM. You don't have to pay an assistant to type it in. That's crazy. So if you look at, first of all, the value of the CRM, if you had a subscription at Salesforce to get the same product, it would probably cost you $300, $400, $500 a month. Seriously, it would cost you that much if anybody's used them before. Second is you'd also have to have an assistant just to enter the stuff in. And if you're like someone like writing 30 apps a week, that's a lot to go in there. It's automatically done for you. So that's really cool. So I appreciate the upgrades and the systematic improvement that's being given to the ARC and the CRM and what's happening there. It is crazy. They've now broken out our renewal commissions. So you can see that on a separate line item. And there's more good stuff coming. So thank you to Robbie Kraft and Andy Albright for what's happening there. All right, but there's going to be more cool things with our Seattle and Alaskan trip leaderboards will be coming online here. So you'll see how are you tracking on that. Here's what's going to be interesting is by the time we see the first published leaderboard for Alaska, I'm curious how many people will have already qualified when they publish the first Alaska leaderboard.
It will happen.
I mean, it's like, it's going to be wondering like, well, you mean people already qualified? It's only been 3 or 4 weeks. It's like, I think you're going to see some surprises like that. It's kind of, ooh, it's going to be exciting.
It is going to be exciting.
All right.
Focus on that Alaska trip. I tell you what, you'll be hitting some major paychecks, some major goals if you just focus on knocking that out. Not wait until the last minute.
Yes. All right.
2021, baby. 2021. All right. All right. So let's do this.
We want to jump in. I think our theme today is building on what Auntie's introducing this 40-40 challenge. And so if you're new or if you were under a rock last week, this 40-40 challenge is designed to help you, put you on pace to get to partner fast. Okay. Now, if you're like, gosh, well, what is it? First of all, let's just define what it is. It's you booking 40 appointments a week, 40 appointments for you seeing clients. And it's you talking to 40 people for the first time about what we do business-wise, looking to grow your sales team, your network, your business of distribution. That's the challenge. Can you do 40 appointments and talk to and interview initially 40 people, 40 conversations about what we do? Introduce our business.
In width or depth, in your organization or not. Just 40 new people that you're talking to in a week. Tell you what. It's crazy the amount of people that we can talk to in a short amount of time. Andy broke it down. He was like, if you spend 10 minutes talking to 40 people, that's what did he say? Like a total of 10 hours?
Yeah. I mean, if you
something like that?
Yeah, 4 people an hour times 10 hours. That's 40. That's 10 hours.
He's going to do the math for me. I'm just like, 10 hours, what it is. 10 hours out of your 168-hour work week.
Yeah.
Or week. Not just work week, but week. We all get 168 hours.
Yeah. And so that's our theme for today. So first of all, if you've not heard of this challenge, and you say, well, that is the challenge. You say, well, why do that? I said, well, number one, if you'll do the 40 appointments, I promise you will get you to issuing $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in a month. And if you're issuing $40,000 a month, number one, it's going to drive you up to a 100-point contract on the super PAC. Okay, that's a big goal. And if you start doing the math on $40,000 a month maxed out on the super PAC, that's pretty big cash flow. Okay, just on that, I promise you're probably going to end up somewhere around between $300,000 and $400,000 in deposits for the year. And that's accounting for back end and some canceling, whatever else. If you'll do that, that's the first thing. You go out and make $400,000 plus on your own pen. Okay, that'd be the first thing. If you just sit there and think about what's that look like. Okay, but now on the other side of building, and you understand that as we get to some of the higher contract levels, part of the way to do that is volume. And if you're finding people, talking to 40 people a week is not to make 40 people do this. It's to turn over enough things.
Ducks.
It's like ducks. Oh, I love
the ducks at the fair.
At the carnival of the fair. Hey, Jarrah, did you ever go to the fair where they had little ducks on the pond and you would pick up the duck, or sometimes at a fishing pole, and you just had to they had a magnet that would grab the duck, or you just pick the duck off the pond and you would look under the duck, and if on the duck's butt, you would get a prize. Who knows this game of which I speak?
Anybody know?
Okay.
Jarrah Veray's like, I don't know. He's so young.
And a lot of times, like, it's kind of like they would let you keep picking up ducks and looking at their butts until you found one with a star. Like some game, it would just be different, right? It wouldn't be some great prize that let you pick until you got one with a star. Or sometimes it was like, okay, you get to look at 3 ducks for $1, and maybe if you got one, great. You'd feel like you were doing some work to find the duck with a star on it. Now, if knowing what I know now, I mean, when I was a kid, it was different. Now I'd be like, I'll just grab like 10 ducks with 2 hands. And I just like, look, I think I got one with a star.
That's what we're doing. We're picking up duck. Looking at it.
And so then
looking for the star.
So my version is if you thinking talking to 40 new people in a week is like picking up 10 ducks at one time, and it's just filtering to find the people that are made for what we do and finding them.
Yeah, I do want to say thank God somebody picked us up at a fair one day. Yeah. It was actually a friend of ours invited us to do this business, right? And his name's Alex Abian, and thank God he offered it to us. That's all we're really doing. That's all we're really doing in this business, offering this to people. It's just like this business is like, I love what we do. I truly believe that what we do is changing the world. We are world changers with what we do with our clients, and then also that want to build and do something greater, something bigger. That pursuit that Andy has kind of always had, that pursuit of excellence, of wanting more, of not settling. You might have heard him talk about it before, of the thing that he hates is unused potential. But giving somebody an opportunity to use that potential if they want to, okay? But we have to give them that opportunity to do that first. Thank God somebody did that to us, and his name was Alex, okay? And each one of us on this call today, whether you're just getting started, whether you've been here, or whether you don't even know what I'm talking about, you were given an opportunity today. It's what you do with that moving forward, okay? So you were given an opportunity. That's what people want. Look around. That's what we're doing out here, okay? So what we can do is change people's lives one moment at a time. We can help them get what they want, okay? Whether they want to do 40 appointments a week or not. We're looking for all types of people. The challenge is 44. It's right. A goal. It's if you want to, it's there for you to reach toward. That's the point, right? And the ones that want to will. As we saw last year, all of last year, somebody that, that wants to do something will do that.
Yeah. I think that's so much like people rise to fall to our level of expectations. So if you're like, gosh, I'm intimidated by a 40, well, relax. You might be, and that's okay. Do what suits you. But there's going to be people that you talk to hire that are going to be inspired by the 40. And why would you want to limit somebody? That's like one of the most selfish things you could say. Well, I just want to tell my people that we're going to call it 2020 over here. So why would you want to limit somebody? It's okay if somebody doesn't want to live up to that challenge, but let's help everybody that wants to have a high level of expectation that they can strive towards, because they might have a level of excellence within them that they've not found yet, that they might just feel excited to go after it. And what if they did? Because here's what I know. If you've never booked 40 appointments in a week and you do it, you're like, that wasn't so tough. I could do it again. And you might book 40 and you might be like, I only met with 18. But if you'd only booked 20, you might have only met with 15. And maybe you got better.
That's just that. Andy's always expected a lot out of us. Okay. He expected a lot out of everybody. It's because of that unused potential. You look around, we see it all the time. It's people that have great potential. My brother was this way. He's not on here, don't worry. But in high school, it was like he had so much potential to be something really great, but he just didn't use that potential. Okay. And it always was frustrating to me. So it's cool to have somebody who expects more out of us. It's cool that isn't it cool to have somebody that expects more out of me? that looks at me and says, hey, I know you can do more. Do what you want to do, but I know you can do more. I believe you can do more. It's a gift, really, when people offer that to you or think that about you. Yeah. They're not settling for something less. Yeah. They believe you can do more. So Andy's been that way for a long time. Yeah. Out of himself and other people.
And I think, and God, it's been cool to be there where somebody's not afraid to place a high level of expectation. He's not afraid to set that high level of expectation. And it's just cool watching the number of people that choose to rise to that level.
We got a ton of people on this call right now.
That's right.
That have risen and are rising to that.
And stretching and changing. And so I think that's why we've got other people here with us, is to share things that people are doing that they've changed or gotten better at in the last 2 weeks as they've heard about this challenge. And so we've got, what I'm hoping is, if you're sitting here listening, you're going to be able to take notes on specific tactical things that people have done or changed to move faster and closer to the 40-40 as they're pursuing the 40-40 challenge. So that's what we've got here today.
And also just take a look at the people on here and say, hey, you know what? If they can do it, why can't I do it? You know, because, you know, we've got people from all different backgrounds, you know, all different stories, all different life situations. That's another cool thing about the insurance business. I'll tell you what, you get a $200 or $300 license and you can make multiple hundreds and millions of dollars. I'm sorry, it just kills me.
It's crazy. I know.
I think everybody should do this, but you know.
Yes.
Anyway.
No doubt.
All right, who do we want to bring up first?
Oh my goodness. You know, Tad, I see you driving, and I know you and I were talking as you've been working more on talking to more people, and you've actually been helping me hit my 40 because as you've been talking to people, you've been doing something. But Tad, you able to open up your mic and share with us a little bit?
Can you hear me, Mike?
I can hear you, buddy. Now, Tad, a lot of people don't know you. Tell people just quick background, where you're from and what you were doing when you got started.
Okay, pig farmer from the great state of Idaho.
Did you say pig farmer? P-I-G?
Yep, P-I-G. 2,000. We had 2,000 head, Noel.
What?
2,000 head of pig. That's a lot of stink right there. I'm telling you what. Anyway, left the farm, obviously. Got into, tried college. College didn't like me. They actually asked me to leave really politely because I was dragging down the grade point average of the whole class. So I left the University of Idaho, went to work for a company called Albertsons, and then I've been in retail wholesale, kind of my thing. Answered a Craigslist ad from a gentleman by the name of Paul Epstein. I'll never forget the night I was sitting in my house and Marcy and I were there, and I said, you got to listen to this guy on the phone. He says he makes $300,000 a year. Every other word he says is, I'm gonna be a millionaire.
Oh, you thought, hey, if this guy can do it and every word he says is, hey, y'all out there, if you listen to me talk, I tell you what, you can do this. I tell you what. So, and you thought, hey, if he can do it, I can do this. Is that what you thought, Tad? Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Are you guys there?
Okay.
All right. We just lost Tad.
We lost you there for a second, but.
All right. We still got your audio, Tad?
Okay.
Yeah. Something on your phone happened. All right. If we get your phone fixed, Tad, something changed. If we get that fixed, circle back. Give it a second.
I can't hear you guys for some reason.
Okay. Can you hear us
all
now?
Right.
I think you might have got you back.
He can't hear us.
Okay. All right. Well.
All right. Tad,
give us a thumbs up when you can hear us. Okay. All right. We'll keep going.
Difficulties.
All right.
All right. Go ahead and mute, and then if you can hear us back, let us know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. There we go. All right. So, I'll just tell him, we'll come back. I want to get Tad's audio because he's been doing some cool things on the second side of his 40 challenge, but we'll come back to that. Jake, you doing a couple things. First of all, I know you and Jarrah out there, and you've
Beret.
Jake and Beret.
You said Jarrah.
It's Jarrah. Gosh, that's who hired you. We got everybody here. I got all these names. try to keep it all. So Jake and Ray.
If we could do this thing, y'all.
I know. Y'all are being inspired. We're a mess. So, but
right.
Jake and Ray, y'all able to open up your mic?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you, yes, loud and clear. All right. So I think first thing, just again, background so people know who you are.
So for myself, my name is Jake Joseph. My wife, Ray, and I are here in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, technically, brought on by the amazing Jarrah Gonzalez. And for one, thank you, Mike and Noel. Thank you for Joseph, the people I can see on here real quick, Andy and Jane. Man, for Ray and I, it's been crazy fun. You know, we've been stretched in so many different directions, and it's just so cool looking back and being able to see what we've been able to accomplish. But real high level here in Albuquerque, we're big on movies and TV film sets and whatnot. So I used to build those sets, working in construction, and was doing that for pretty much straight out of high school for about, I think, 5 years. And I'll let Veray kind of mention what she was doing on her own.
Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear
Yes,
you.
we got you.
So my name is Veray. I'm Jake's wife. My last name is Joseph also. So we're here in Rio Rancho, like Jake mentioned, which is pretty much Albuquerque, New Mexico. And prior to getting my license, when Jarrah mentioned it to me, I was in the medical field. So I did medical assisting, dental assisting. I was in school full-time for nursing, as well as we've got 2 little girls who are 7 and 4. So had to kind of trying to juggle a full plate, but that's what I was doing prior to Jarrah mentioning, like, you know that you could go out there and sell a policy and make $400 or $500. That's all she had to say, and I was in license class.
There we go.
Hey, who started this first, you or Jake? Or
I
you start
did.
at the same time. You did it.
Yeah, so she invited me to a hotspot before COVID was a thing, and we used to have those like weekly in person. So she invited me to a hotspot, and I went, and I was fired up. And I remember getting home that night, and I was like jumping on the bed, telling Jake, "We're gonna be rich." We found it. I drug him to the next hotspot, and he was in the license class as well. So even though
first hotspot was Noel.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
So I took my test first, but he still got licensed. I don't know. I must have had a little bit of a sketchy background because it took a little bit longer.
I can tell you, sketchy.
So
We like them like that. Go ahead.
So you guys have been booking 40 appointments a week before the challenge. Like, when had you gotten into the 40 appointments a week, or how long have you been carrying that forward now?
I think, if I'm remembering correctly, that was like July or August. Does that sound right?
So when you first started hearing about it, you jumped on it right away, or did it take you time to start to get to it and make it happen?
We pretty much jumped on it right away because we had a Zoom call that Paul Minichino was on. Joseph had invited him, and he was like, "If you book 40 fake appointments, you're still going to make money." So we're like, "All right, let's go."
Okay.
So was it a stretch for you to get to 40, or did you just like, bam, first time out, nailed it?
No, it was a stretch. I remember like we'd be dialing from like 8 a.m., which, you know, it's all a mindset thing. We know that now. But, you know, we'd like start dialing at 8, and it'd be like 7 at night, and we're like staring at each other, scratching our heads like, oh my gosh, when are we going to book even, you know, remotely 40? So it was definitely a stretch. It didn't just happen right away, but with lead flow, with guidance, with coaching, we were able to get there.
So you made a decision, you started making more dials, you got coaching, and you increased lead flow. I think that's a big thing, because if like you're getting 5 leads a week, how am I going to need Jesus Christ to turn this 5 leads into 40 appointments, you know? It's like, you know,
We need some fish.
Yeah.
We need some fish.
There we go.
You got any fish?
Fish loaves, something. I'm like, it's like, so learning to increase systematically, get your GMRs, your different lead sources. And by the way, I mean, Chris Hill, the team is working on different lead sources for us to use. I just got an email with another new lead source to be tested. So for our agency manager friends out there, you know, I'm just now learning about it, but there's some other powerful tools for some additional mortgage protection leads outside of we can get on our GMR. So if you like those, or if you talk to your agency manager, make sure they're talking to Chris Hill about that, is what I would tell you. But more tools out there. All right, so that's one area that you guys had to change and stretch. Now, just recently, you guys have heard about the other 40, right? The other 40 on talking to 40 new people about your business. And Jake, you specifically started, and I think Ray, you too, both of you guys started to do something that you heard like a week or 10 days ago. Talk about what you've done that's been a stretch or gotten out of your comfort zone, but talk about that for us.
Yeah. We always heard the saying once we started here is there's $1 million in your phone. I was like, where is this $1 million? I'm looking all over it. It's all cracked and beat up. Like, I don't know where it's at. And I believed in that. I was like, it's somewhere, you know. So there's been time and time again where I just scroll through my contacts, and for whatever reason, I just had some silly fear of whatever it was. I didn't want to call anyone. And when Andy first started talking about the challenge and rolled it out, I remember hearing, I think it was Kelly Haney talking, if it takes me 20 minutes in between appointments to, you know, get to my next one, or 15 or whatever it may be, I can call one or two people and talk with them. So I remember I got in the car, some guy said some not so nice words to me, and closed the door in my face. And I went to my car and I was like, well, what can I do? And I just started looking through my phone and ended up speaking with a buddy from high school, Alex. And lo and behold, you know, just kind of explained to him what it was, what we were doing. And I think he was able to come over to our house Monday when we were making phone calls. Got a text this morning from license coach saying he was signed up in class. And just goes to show, you know, you never know who's looking, who this could help out. I know it's helped Ray and I out tremendously. That's kind of what we found fun.
Let me just ask you, can you hear me okay? Oh, I want to make sure my mic. Let me just ask you, Jake, because you called me like after was it Wednesday or Thursday? You called me last week. Was it?
I called you right after I spoke with him.
Right after you spoke with him. That's right, you did. Tell me how you were feeling initially before you talked to, because you told me how you were feeling before you started calling people. Can you share a little bit?
Oh, like right before I was calling them?
Yeah.
Well, for one, I was a little ticked off what just happened with my appointment, but then I was
that
like,
helped.
that helped. And I just started, I was scared. I was looking at my contacts and I was like, some fear came over me, but I knew if I clicked their name and then I clicked the phone, their name, and then it pops up and then it's got the little phone. I knew if I clicked it that if they answered, I'd have to say something because I wasn't going to just hang up on it. So I was just like, oh, okay. And just start talking. And I was like, oh, and we just started talking. And hey, you know, we caught up for a little bit and I said, hey, you know, and I might have even mentioned it to when we first got started, but I just started talking to him and asking questions, say, hey, you or anyone, you know, be able to help us out. And he just started asking questions and it went from there.
Pretty simple, huh?
Pretty simple.
So as you're listening to Jake, if you hear like, I got some of the same feelings, so good. You might get some of the same results as you push through that. And just like, that's where the $1 million is in your phone. It's in you decide there's somebody out there that needs help, that could help us. And I just got to find who that one is. Another way to pick up a duck and look at it. Do we have a winner? Awesome.
I don't know if people really believe. Hopefully y'all believe the $1 million in your phone thing concept, but there is millions of dollars in your phone. Go ahead.
Some people are gonna say, well, I ain't got many contacts on my phone. Well, are you using Instagram and Facebook? Okay, so maybe it's in your Instagram app. It's like maybe it's in your Facebook app is where your friends are. I mean, you might have to direct message, hey man, want to catch up with you, give me a call, here's my number. I don't have their phone numbers. Send them a message, send them your phone number. So there's just different tools as you're working through that you can be thinking about. But good job. Tad, hey, it looks like, I want to see if we got his audio. That was coming back to you. If you could unmute, are you available?
Okay.
Are you available?
Can you hear me?
I am. I'm getting an echo of myself.
Oh. How's that?
Let's see.
That better?
I'm still getting the echo.
All right, let's go ahead and mute. There is an echo, Tad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and share the story?
I'll share the story at least, and then we'll get Tad muted. Okay. All right. So Tad, everybody can see. You can nod if I'm saying it right. So part of the thing is like Tad, I saw him step up what he's doing in interviews, because I think Tad, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's now through some tools that he's got available. He's now between ads and whatever else is interviewing 30 people a week, and that's another powerful tool. There's ways you can be interviewing. And so Tad's taking cash flow and he's invested and he got staff that's booking interviews for him. That's the first thing I've seen Tad do. He might have been doing like 10 interviews a week. He stepped up to 30. Well, how's he going to talk to 40? Well, he's probably going to do some other things like talk to his clients, other people. But as Tad is getting to his 40 new people a week, the interviews are helping. That's the first thing that Tad did is he said, I'm making money. I'm going to reinvest that and I'm going to use this as a tool. So that's one way Tad's fighting for his other 40. Here's a second thing that I saw Tad do. Out of the 40 people or different people he's talked to, I said, Tad, who are a few good ones? And Tad said, Mike, I've got about 4 or 5. I've talked to so many this week. I think I found 4 or 5 ducks with stars on them. I'd like to get you on the phone with my ducks with stars. And I said, okay. So we blocked out a time on Sunday, and Tad had me on the phone with about 4 or 5 people over the course of an hour and a half. And he had some sharp people. And so I think as you talk to a bunch, what Tad did is he slowed down. He got a hold of me. He said, Mike, hey, look, I think I've got some good ones. Can you help me sift through these? And by doing that, we got a couple of these good ones on the right track and poured more fuel on the fire and got them thinking the right way. And I think Tad learned some stuff about how do you talk to a winner that wants to win faster? Because as you start to sift through the better ones, you've got to talk to them with a different level of expectations. And I think Tad, just good job that you took the time to slow down and organize and call in help. Call in and get help, and don't think you've got to do it yourself.
Slow down to think about stuff and focus, but don't slow down, okay?
Yeah. Don't slow down. All right.
Nice job, Tad. We're proud of you. We really think that you're going to be able to make major moves this year with the focus that you've had the last couple of weeks. So
Yeah.
we're fired up for you.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right.
We got Stephanie?
So many people to talk
I
to.
know.
All right. Let's get up Stephanie Rodriguez. Hey, I saw some. Did you see that post about Stephanie today on our group, National Agents Alliance group
I
page?
think Riddle posted something big. All right. So first of all, yeah, go ahead and tell them what you saw.
No.
Or Stephanie, you tell us. Tell us about these great things of which Mr. Riddle is speaking about you.
Well, I'd be embarrassed to say that I have not seen that post. But
That's okay. Hey, you're in your car. Looks like you're running appointments and stuff.
yeah, booking 40 appointments, gotta actually run them if you want to make money.
He said
I think I know though because he called me.
Oh, he called you. Okay. All right.
Him
Well,
and
go ahead, lay it
Brian
on.
called me. I did the 40-40 challenge. I submitted my paper.
Yay! You already did it so far this month or this past week. Way to go! Talked to 40 people, met with 40 booked 40 appointments. Is that it? Met with 40 clients. Way to go!
Yep.
Talked to 40 new. What made you decide to focus? Well, let's come back. Give us a little bit about your background, because there are people on this call that haven't met you yet.
Okay. So before the Alliance, I've been with you guys about 1.5 years, and before that, I was a stay-at-home mom for about 2 years, and then before that, I did massage and facial, so esthetician. So nothing to do with insurance, but this was a blessing for us too, because when I got pregnant with my little one, we had just decided that I'd be a stay-at-home mom and that my fiance would just pay all the bills, and it was enough money to just pay the bills. So we used to have to get help with groceries and stuff from our parents, and it was really hard, but I wasn't going to have someone else raise my kids, so I could take home, $100 from after daycare and everything. So when we bought a house, the guy who helped us with our mortgage protection, he said, do you know anyone that wants to make $500 a week working a few hours part-time? I was like, hell yeah, I do, especially if I don't have to be gone all day long. And that's what happened. I got my insurance license. It took about 8-9 days altogether, and I passed and started making money.
There we go.
I love it. I love it. So you were a client originally.
Yep, I was a client.
Oh, that is so huge, so massive. Talk to your clients so that if you set 40 appointments and you're talking to every client, that goes towards your 40 on the building side of what we do, on the giving this opportunity side, on the lifting up the duck side, right? You just never know who is gonna say yes, me, and raise their hand and say yes. Or they might say, hey, you know what? I have a cousin, I have a friend, I have my grandson, all those things just by asking the question. That's massive. Talk to all your clients. They believe in insurance. That's why they're your client.
Yep.
That's why they're your client.
Actually, the client that I just left, I met her to draw up her will because she has the forester's policy. And I ended up talking to her more about some stuff that's going on in her family. Well, I called her daughter and I set an appointment with her for Saturday to go and talk to her about the business and write her a policy because she's got 2 small kids. So she needs that orphan benefit. So that's exactly how it happened, and I'm excited about that. It worked out real good.
There we go.
Love it. Do you know how many of the 40 new people you talked to on that challenge, how many of them were clients that you talked to as a new? Any idea?
Not the majority. I would say 2. Yeah.
2? Okay.
I
So
do a
2
lot
clients?
of in-person. I do a lot of in-person, and then I do have some ads that I get help with staff help with.
When you say in person, you mean like people that you're just meeting as you're going through your day, or what do you mean when you say in person?
So one thing that Riddle kind of helped us with, the last time we've been having at our new office, hotspots once a week, the last couple weeks. And the one thing I heard him say was that Albright in the beginning made him stop at every gas station. He was only allowed to put $10 of gas in his tank when he would drive from Jacksonville to wherever he was driving. And he would have to stop and talk to at least 1 or 2 people at the gas station that he didn't know. So I've gotten really good at talking to the people at the counters or people that are close to my age that I see inside. I won't, I pick and choose. I don't just go talk to some 90-year-old lady, but that really helped me kind of get better at talking to people because you have to figure out what to say to them and how to be helpful and not sound like a creep.
That's a big deal. Takes practice, and you get to choose who you talk to. I think so. Interviews, some clients, and just putting yourself in a position, choosing to put yourself in a position to meet people. So it's a blend of all 3 that you're using. I think that's awesome. Stephanie, for your 40 appointments that you're booking, what type people probably want to know? What type of leads are you working with? What blend or what sources are you using?
I do mostly direct mail from our company. I really like our leads. I get about 18, 15 are final expense, 3 or mortgage protection, and then usually once a week I'll get a bunch of Mail Pro leads. They are my favorite, and I will say that the ones that seem to be like 140 days old have been much better than the ones that are 2 days old or 1 day old. So I like the older ones from Mail Pro and any of the leads from our lead department, honestly. And I have still old ones that I go through because, why not? When I first started, all of the leads I was given were 2 years old, 3 years old, and I had no problem.
Okay, so a blend of fresh leads coming in, supply, some follow-up leads, and then you like the older, the 30 plus days or whatever it is on the Mail Pro. So blend of all those tools is what you keep. And I think you'll see anybody that's listening, everybody's got a lead investment they're making and using different tools. But Stephanie, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for stepping up to embrace this challenge and hit on both sides. Awesome.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate you guys.
Cool. All right. Who want to hit next? We want to get.
Let's get up Junior Blatz.
Junior
There's
Blatz.
2 juniors on here now.
Okay. All right. Junior Blatz.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Junior.
Hi,
How
Junior.
are you?
Doing good. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody.
Well, Paul Roberts had a lot of great things to say about you. I tell you what, he was blowing up our text. Tell us a little bit about where, how you got started with us, Junior, and where you're located and stuff like that.
I'm here in Louisville. I'm based out of DFW. So I'm spending most of my time at the Paul Roberts office with the team. My family originally got me into this. Before here, I was a reservation representative for the executive platinum desk with American Airlines. So talking to people like Paul Roberts, 8 to 10 hours on the phones every day in the cubicle. So this is a completely different lifestyle. My happiness level's been risen the past 3 months just from doing what I do every day, and I love it. I've just been keeping it simple, consistent, and I'm trying to still learning a lot. I still learning every day. I can tell you that there's a lot to learn, but I still don't know. I feel like I still don't know nothing.
Hey, I know how you feel. I feel the same way every day, I think.
Yeah.
Still learning and, all that. So that's good. You're stretching yourself
Yes, ma'am.
all the time. So tell us a little bit about how you've Paul was saying that you've kind of embraced the 40-40 challenge and you are kind of going after it. Share a little bit about that for us, would you?
Oh yes, so kind of what the same of what everyone else is doing, and I'm just duplicating that. And talking to people in the streets. I go to Starbucks every time I'm running. I talk to the baristas, grocery stores, gas stations, like she was saying. Clients in the home, of course, across the table. I'm the type, I'll talk to them if they're 90 because they got a grandson or a nephew or somebody that's needs some kind of work. And from there we do list of names, of course. Dr. Phil's been helping a lot with building and dialing the list of names, and my whole team from Dr. Phil all the way down to the depth of me. We do a lot of teamwork on the building side. So I feel 40 is not going to be a problem talking to 40 people when you got everyone working together and doing it as a team.
And when you're focused on it, sounds like you're focused on it.
Yes, ma'am.
I love what you just said about talking to your clients, even if they're 90 or even if they're older, because they got a younger grandson or grandkid or somebody, right? And why not go ahead and ask them? I have had people that have said, that they talk to their clients, but not all of them because of that age thing. It's like, why would you, a 90-year-old, they're not going to do this. 85-year-old, they're not going to want to do this, but they know people. They know people just like we all do. I love the fact that have you found anybody through that yet, or gotten anybody in class?
I have a few interested, haven't got them in class yet, but we're gonna get them rolling, get them out here to meet the team. Of course, once they catch the culture and the vibe, just how I caught it. I was there in that place before in the beginning. It took me a few months to leave, American Airlines after I got my license and went full-time Alliance. So I know how it is, and that was only a few months ago. So it's fresh there, and that's what it's about. Just getting them around, the team, and I've always been caught, not taught, is what they always say, I hear.
Hey, and what's great is we've got some teams and offices. And so for those that are listening, if you have the ability to get to an office with a good environment, there's a huge value in that. And when that team is just, and you see that people are hitting 40-40, it's like your belief level, man, I can do that too. And so for those who can get around, and it's just like where we've got people, I think that's one of the best things that Paul and Dr. Phil and Jeremy and those guys are doing, is the fact they're creating that environment and allowing you and inviting you to be there, and you've got the ability to thrive on that. So awesome job. Keep it up.
Let's talk about real quickly. Coming back to something you said, Junior. You say you talk to people wherever you are. Something about Starbucks. You go there all the time. Whatever. Tell us how do you? People are probably wondering, what do I say to somebody like out? What do I
My
say to them?
my opening line is always, "Hey, where are you from?" And that stirs something up every time. They're either going to tell me where they're from, or they're not going to give me the time of the day. But if they're willing to talk and tell me where they're from, then I'll probe them and keep probing. And eventually, if I feel like they're a good person to talk to, I'll try to get their number or slip them my business card or whatnot. But I've learned you got to try to trade numbers too, because they're never going to call your card. And I learned that pretty quick. Dr.
Yeah,
Phil,
that's a huge tip right there.
yeah, Dr. Phil taught me that in the beginning. Got to get their number, because they're going to lose that business card or whatnot. If you traded numbers and you shot a text with your name, then at least you got some kind of connection going on.
Yeah. Hey, why don't I get your number? Might be some things we can do later or whatever. People are free to give their numbers like that. That's like a normal thing to do these days, especially because everybody has cell phones and keeping a card, and all that. No,
Hey, let me text you my contact info. And when you say let me text you my contact, that's the magic move. Let me text you my contact number. Here,
what's your number?
What's your number, so I can punch it in here? So that's simple move. That's good that you're learning that early. By the way, I tell you what, it's huge.
Yes,
huge.
You're gonna crush 2020, Junior. Tell you what, 2021. Oh my gosh.
All right, there we go. All right, let's do this. I appreciate you being here and sharing. Keep it up. Seriously, that's awesome. All right. Megan Wood has said, you able to open up your mic? Hello. Man, Megan. I was thinking about you again. Stephanie Rodriguez was a client. You were a client. Who else? Was there anybody else on this call that was a client first? So we got two people. And I know if you look at our leaderboards from last year, I know that Katrina Guston was a client. So I think 3 out of our top 5 or 6 agents at least were clients first. So I think that's the first thing is to everybody, if you don't realize, our clients become some of our best agents. And I'm probably going to date myself. For those who remember.
Don't date yourself.
Okay, I won't.
Because then you would date me, and
I know.
then we'd be dating again. It would just be.
All right, won't be dating. All right. So Megan, real quick, people that don't know your background. So you were a client, but what were you doing when you heard about our program?
When I heard about it, I was a waitress and a bartender. I was a waitress for 13 years. I started when I was 17. I was a hostess, and then I was 18. So I got old enough to be a waitress, and then I hit 21 and I was able to be a bartender. So I had my son, and I wasn't really looking for anything. That's the crazy thing. I wasn't really looking for anything. I had in my head, it's like, what am I going to do when my son goes to school? Because I went to work at 4 and I got off at midnight every night, and I woke up with my son at 6:30 in the morning. I was like a walking zombie is what I would say. Like I wasn't even there. Like I wasn't even living. I would just like crawl into work, and I remember pulling in the parking lot and I'd be like, here we go, like another day. Like it was terrible. And then I pictured in my head my son, he's gonna go to school. And I thought, my son goes to school, I pick him up, I bring him home, I have 30 minutes with my son, then I'm going to go to Applebee's and get off at midnight. I'm going to see my son every day for 30 minutes. That's what I had pictured in my head. So when I had a woman come over, because I had filled out a mortgage protection lien, because I had saved up enough money at Applebee's to put a down payment on my house, I had a woman come over. And, I really do. I think God puts people, everything happens for a reason. And God sent somebody to my house so I could have an opportunity, because it just so happens that the girl that came over to my house was a bartender. And I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, she can do it. Surely I can do this. I mean, like literally, she came in. We sat outside. It was nice outside. She had a conversation with me, and she helped me make sure that my son would be taken care of if I had passed. And she made a friend. And I'm like, how did you start doing this? Like, you literally go to somebody's home, you talk to them. I'm like, do you make money doing this? She's like, yeah. I thought I made good money at Applebee's. I had no idea. I had no idea what I'd even met. And now it's like I have a blast. Like, I cannot wait to get out there and help families. Like, I crave it. And we don't have to worry about bills. Like, it's really been an answered prayer. It really has. And I love every day. I love every day getting up, going out there. It's exciting to me.
That's cool. So Megan, on this 40-40 challenge, how many families did you sit down with last week from like Monday to Sunday?
Oh gosh. 55 families.
55 families. Okay.
55,
you blew past
60.
the 40. All right. How many of those families that you sat with did you call ahead to book the appointments? And how many did you do by door knocking?
I did all by door knocking.
All by door knocking. How many of these were like new clients first time, and how many of them were like secondary sales that you were going back?
I think 50 out of the 75 apps that I wrote, 50 were new clients. The others were clients that I had just met the day before, 3 days before, 4 days before.
Okay. All right. So now I think you made it really simple in laying out how you do a door knock, since you're booking almost all of your appointments via door knocks now. And I think, so I want to come to that. And then also, what's kind of your lead mix? What are your preferred lead sources that you're using?
Okay, so I'm maxing out 2 counties. So I do my GMR, the direct mail, is my number one. I have something with Bang Bang, John Davis. He's sending me about 10 a week in there. And then I do Mail Pro if I'm running out of those. So just reaching for every direction, because they're just
all
people.
And all in the same 2 counties. So you'd rather have dense amount of appointments in the same geographic area instead of chasing one type of lead all over everywhere.
Right.
Okay. All right. So now that's what you're doing. Now let's go through your drive-by script, like from where you park your car to what you say. I think you're very intentional about it. You've gotten very good at that. And you were very specific the other day when we were talking. I think it'd be good for people to hear that.
Okay. Yeah. So I got the lead in my hand to where I'm going to go next, right? So I'm driving and I see their house. I don't park in their driveway. I park down a little bit. So nobody really knows what house I'm going to, right? So I park down a little bit. I get out. I have my mask in my hand and I go up to the door. Sometimes I wave, I learned that. So you wave as you're walking up because they probably see you. And so I knock, right? I say, Mary? Hi, Mary. My name's Megan. I tried to call a few days ago and I couldn't reach you. I was just down the road, so I wanted to stop by, and here you are. So I'm just supposed to get this information to you. I show her the lead. It's the state regulated program. This card that you had filled out looks like you and Chuck had filled it out. Yeah, so I just get the information to you if you got a couple minutes.
And you do the appointment right there.
And I do the appointment right there.
Now,
I keep it very simple, but I found that I'm giving them excuses as to I tried to call a couple days ago and I couldn't reach you. So they're not asking me, why didn't you call? Like I said,
that's big tip.
I tried calling a few days ago, or why'd you just swing by? Well, like I said, I was just down the road. So I figured
that's why you park not in front of their house, but in front of the house next door. So you can literally say, I was just down the road.
Yeah, I was just down the road. Crazy, isn't it?
That's good thinking. So I tried to call you the other day, couldn't reach you, and I was just down the road. So those 2 things. And the other thing, a third thing is you have your mask in your hand so you can put it on when you need to, but they see your smile initially.
Right.
So I think those are 3 huge tips if you're doing a drive-by. And then the 4th thing, this doesn't take very long. This only takes a few minutes. Only takes a couple minutes.
Couple minutes.
So I think if you're hearing and distilling what are the key points of what she's saying, why is she good with door knocks? Now, first thing is, we're not telling everybody to stop door knocking. We're just telling you there's certain people that aren't going to answer the phone. So when you do a door knock, you can use these tools and it will help you get closer to your booking or sitting with your 40 families a week. So I think that's very, very, very huge.
I love how you kind of take, you said, I'm taking the objections away ahead of time. And you're assuming that they have a minute for you. You got a minute and we'll do it right now, right? I'm sure you probably have some people that say, I can't do it right now. Do you ever have any like that?
Yes. Yeah. And I say, oh, okay, no problem. I'm going to be back in the area tomorrow. I'm going to be back in the area tomorrow afternoon or evening. Like, what works better for you?
Somebody texted me a question. They said, what if it's an online lead, like a Mail Pro? What do you show them if it's one of those Mail Pro leads?
So I show, the Mail Pro, I just show them my phone. I just bring it up here. I go, so probably like it came into me a couple days ago. I don't know if you could hear me. My GPS was going off.
Yeah.
We got you.
Go ahead.
So I show them my phone. I bring my phone up and I say, Mary? Yeah, so it looks like you had gone online a couple days ago, and I just got this on my phone. So I got your name here, got your height and weight. And so this was about the life insurance that you were wanting more information about. I got you currently don't have any, or you currently do have some. So they just sent it to me. I was just down the road. So I'm just supposed to get you the information if you got a couple of minutes. So I show them my phone. And I show them my Excel sheet that it comes in at, so they can see like they're not the only ones that were reaching out for information.
Okay.
And they know I'm not crazy because here it is. Got your email. I got your height and weight. I got your everything right.
So if you have 10 people that you talk to on the door, how many turn into instant appointments right there for you?
Most of them. I would say about 8 out of 10 people that I actually talk to.
Okay.
I mean, there's some of them that aren't there. So I leave the stickies and they always call me. They always call me back. Okay.
That's big. Cool. I appreciate some of the text questions. So good. And it's just working.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love it.
Megan, so now you've got money coming. What's driving you? Talk to me about, like, as you're focused on bigger goals, what's driving you? Why are you doing all this?
I love the team. I love it. You know, it has helped me out so much in my own life. You know, I'm just out there looking for broken people just like I am. Because I'm broken. Like, I'm crazy. Like, I got a lot of problems. I got a lot of issues. I do. But honestly, the Alliance has saved my life. And I want to give that to somebody else. I want to give somebody else that opportunity because it has done so much for me. Because without the team, I wouldn't be here. Guaranteed. So it's really that opportunity that has changed my life. And I want to do that for other people. And that's what drives me.
You are doing that. You are saving other people's lives. You're doing that already with your clients, and then also with other people, even people not in your organization. You've helped them so much, and you're showing that love by doing and acting and changing people, giving other people an opportunity. You sent me a team the other day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize you had so many people in class." I need to be talking. We need to narrow that down on who we need to be helping you with, but
yeah.
But
I've never had so many people in license coach all at once. I'm super excited. Alicia's like, what? You brought the number up to 30?
There we go. Cool. All right. Awesome, Megan. I know you're talking to more people. I know you're getting better at the other side of the 40, but thank you for sharing just on some of the things you're doing to be sitting with 40. So awesome. Awesome.
#1 producer in 2020. You think you're going to do that again? There's some people on this call that are like doing that too. So there's only one number one.
That's right. I'm doing it again. Let's go.
There you go.
I'm
All
excited.
right.
Helping more people. People helping people.
All right.
Right.
Good job. All right.
All right. We want to hear from Brian Rojas. Brian.
What's up? Joel.
Hey, buddy.
Good.
All right.
We're doing great. Can you hear us all right?
I can hear you fine. Can y'all
Okay.
hear
All
me?
right. All right. Cool. You're good. You're good.
All right. So, Brian, tell us where in Florida you're from, and for people that maybe haven't got to meet you, what you was doing before you joined us.
Of course, of course. So, guys, my name is Brian Rojas out of Tampa, Florida. Before the Alliance, my wife and I, we were working at call centers. It's basically what we know. So, I was selling Medicare supplements over the phone for Aetna Medicare. And I do remember a friend of ours, well, a friend of my wife's, telling us about this opportunity. And we met at a Starbucks. He says, dude, you have got to check this out. Second month in, and I just sold like $17,000 worth of insurance. And they're telling me I'm going to get paid $8,000. I'm like, what? I said, show me your bank account. And that had me hooked, man. I'm so grateful for all the relationships that have come along across the way. People like Andy Riddle, Andy Albright, Jane Albright, you guys, you know what I'm saying? And so we're so excited for 2021, man. We're super excited for just our goals, our vision, the people that God has put in our path, that we get to do life with. So yeah, man.
Cool.
I hear you right that somebody came up to you in a Starbucks and met you. Did they do what Junior Blast was talking about?
So it was a friend of ours. He said, let's meet up
friend.
at a Starbucks. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
All right.
They
Gotcha.
met up at a Starbucks. I got you. Starbucks has different reasons to go there. So I get
Okay.
it. You can find a lot of good.
Starbucks is the plug.
Awesome. So let's see. I know Andy suggested we get you here. Talk to us about what are the things you're doing to drive the 40/40, or where are you doing both? Focus on which one do you feel like you're getting more traction, getting better at here over these first couple weeks of the year, Brian?
We're definitely doing both of them this year, 100%. I feel like a big change in my business personally has been reaching out to people like, I think Joseph was talking about there's $1 million in your phone. And I've heard so many stories, like Paul Menachino and Justin Balick, how they met and how, it's insane. But I never had success. And because I never had success, I didn't believe. And it's crazy because Andy Albright was talking to me on the phone for a couple minutes, and he said, I want you to text 10 people, just randomly text 10 people. And I bet one of those people are going to start crying on the phone and are going to tell you, I've been waiting for something like this. And I did it twice. First time was 2 weeks ago, and one of my clients' husbands passed away. It was like 10, 11 o'clock at night. She was crying when I called her because she didn't know what she was going to do, Noel. And she couldn't believe that I was calling her about an opportunity. She went to the office, she met up, and I'm not sure if you guys saw the Facebook post my wife put up, but it's amazing to change people's lives like that, man. Second person, so I did this week, and I haven't talked to a cousin of mine in about 5 years. Same thing. Hey, what are you doing? I want to talk to you about business. And Lord and behold, out of everybody, I must have texted about 40 people. Only one person responded, which was my cousin. I would have never thought, you know what I'm saying, that my cousin would be so interested in things. He's actually coming up to see Andy and Andy Riddle, and Andy Albright and Andy Riddle and Jason Mathis tomorrow at our office. But it's just insane when you put in some activity and you just start doing. These are little things that have been changing in my business and in my mind, just doing, regardless of how I feel about it, regardless of the fear that sometimes I may feel, that are just, I know something's about to happen. We're about to explode. So
I love
pretty
that.
cool.
And you're right. You just never know, Brian, how you're gonna impact people. People aren't telling you all the stuff that all their fears and what they're thinking. You don't know. And a lot of them are praying for something to come along. And it's just like Jake said, it's just like getting over that fear and just going ahead and doing it. I love the fact that you just texted some people and said, hey, I'm just thinking about you, want to talk to you about business. What are you up to these days?
100%.
Simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah. And if somebody's brand new and say, well, what do you say next? If I don't know what I'm doing and I just got started, I don't have my license yet, what do I do? Find one of these winners like you see up here, or your agency manager that's good at helping people get started, good at talking to people, and get them on the phone with someone else, and they can help you land the plane. They can help you take it to the next level. I think that's a big piece there. So leverage people's time that are going somewhere as you get started. That's amazing. We need another Brian Rojas texting or reaching out story here over the next week. It's like, well, that would be my challenge. As part of this 40-40 challenge, I'm challenging you, if this is new to you, be like, man, who are 10 people I can text? I wonder if I can find someone that's going to cry in the next day or two when I talked about this program.
Not that we're trying to force people to cry, but
Can I say something real?
Go ahead.
I heard something from my buddy Terry Edwards. I heard him a couple weeks back showing the plan, and he said something that just shocked me, man. He said, this system is non-discriminatory. This system does not care about how much you weigh, how tall you are, how white or how black you are. It does not care about that. What it cares is about what you do. And if you do it, you will, like, whoever does it will get the result. And it shocked me because sometimes we get in our feelings, man. Like I'm one, you know what I'm saying? New Year rolls out. We got to start all over. How are we gonna reach the goals that we're looking at? And this system that Andy Albright and Jane Albright have set up for us is so awesome that, hell, we just go out there and do it, book 40 and talk to 40 people. Something's going to happen. So I want to share that with y'all.
I appreciate it. No.
100%. It's non-discriminatory. What other kind of business out there is like that? You get your license, you can print money, like Andy says, and be helping people like that too.
That's right.
And be helping people just by asking those questions. That's massive, massive opportunity. Is Ray raising her hand, or is she saying hi?
Yeah, I had a quick question, Brian. Can you just real quick go through that text that you sent people? I was trying to take notes, couldn't get it all.
Yeah, 100%. So there's two things I do. Andy Albright uses a lot of text replacement. So I'm going to send this to the group. And it basically is so simple. It says, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? Wanted to chat with you. That's it. And I just sent it to 40 people. Text replacement, send it to 40 people. If you have an iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, I don't know what to tell you. Copy paste.
So not as a group. Okay, you don't send it in a group text.
No.
Right?
No, I don't send it group text. I just send it individually. 40 people, 20 people at a time. Yes, ma'am.
There we go.
You never know. I love it. Thank you for sharing that, Brian. Appreciate you
Yes,
guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, shoot. Chris Manifold, I see you there. Open up your mic. Man, your name is popping up on these Issue Pay leaderboards, starting to become like a recurring theme as you're part of Megan's team. But Chris, let people know who you are, your background, what's been going on real quick.
So I'm here in Indianapolis. My background's in really in more of the technical space. I'm an engineer by education. I've worked for big multinational businesses. I've worked in technical roles and in commercial roles, and as well as small businesses. I found out about the alliance actually through Megan Wood. My girlfriend, Megan is my girlfriend's niece. And so I found out about how Megan was doing, and a story I still tell today is the idea that she had replaced her entire monthly income by working 2 days a month doing this from Applebee's. And so that always gets people fired up when I'm recruiting across the table, which I always do now with our 40/40 challenge. And so yeah, I started doing it on a part-time basis. And when the COVID hit, my other job went away, and so just threw myself into this. And like Mike said, I'm starting to get to a point where I feel like I'm hitting some consistency, and so looking to really not only just keep that consistency, but push it up a notch or two or four or six this coming 2021. So I'm excited.
Okay, cool. I think there's two things I've watched you stretch and grow in here recently. I think using leads has been like your willingness to increase your lead investment to allow you to increase your appointment setting has been something you've had to learn, but I've seen you stretch and do that. Talk about like how many leads are you getting a week, or what kind of a lead investment are you seeing yourself? Is how have you stepped that up?
So mainly, I have a GMR, and I think that's right now at about a like $600 or $700 level, I believe.
Okay.
And then I'm getting a bang bang order every week. So blended together, I just figure it's $1,000. But yeah, that was it has been uncomfortable for me because I see the money come in and I want to keep it in as opposed to having it go back out. But like anything else, you have to spend money to make money. And so I'm gradually warming up to that idea. And yeah, it's paid dividends for sure.
And so, and I mean, for those that are wondering, is it working? You didn't start that on month one. You remember what your lead investment is when you went full time, like back in June?
I think it may have been like 4 leads or something like that. Maybe even 2. I don't know. It was very small.
Yeah, it might have been like $75 a week or something like that, right?
Yeah. And that was, you can really tell the difference between that and this in terms of the opportunity, the pace. I think it is smart to not only to ramp up the leads, but to do it in a smart way. Because I don't think I really could have taken advantage of it the way I do now back then. But I think we've, working together with you, I think we've figured out a really good path. And hopefully that's going to keep continuing. So.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, so Chris was on the leaderboard this week for issue paying right at $10,000 issue paid premium. So if you take what he's talking about in his lead investment to 10,000 issue paid, his return on investment, you see the numbers there just with this week's thing. Right?
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And so I think that's, so people are wondering, now he didn't start there, but he's grown, and it's a process of growth. And again, the key is to have the reinvestment mindset and to push yourself and stretch yourself. And hopefully somebody's coaching you to do that. And if it's using more sources, if you're limited on what one source can create for you, but that just continuous mindset of stretching it to get more. And it's a dialogue with someone's coaching you, but good job, Chris. The second thing I've seen you doing on the other side of the 40, that we got some fun things happening in your group. You already kind of talked about it, but what are you doing to help make sure that you're talking to 40 people a week?
Well, the number one thing I'm doing is making sure I mention it to every single appointment that I have. So I don't, like someone said earlier, I don't care if they're 90 years old, they got grandkids, So, and as well, I've set up through your office interviews to go through each week. And so that's been really positive for me, just if nothing else, just to get at bat, just to get up to the plate and go through things with brand new people. That's been a really positive experience, and it's for sure helping my 40/40 challenge, even though I'm not at Stephanie Rodriguez level yet. So I'm working on it.
All right. Well, that's good. Talk about one of the successes that we've got from one of the guys that's one of your clients that's now in class and what's kind of happened with that group.
Yeah. So I had a really younger guy that I went over and saw him, and it was the mortgage protection lead. He had just bought a house, and so he was looking for mortgage protection. And so we found something that worked for him, and we got him all taken care of. And I actually didn't recruit across the table at that time for whatever reason. But I did end up calling him back later. I had just, I think maybe an open requirement or something that I had to touch base with him on. And I happened to mention it to him at that time. And apparently the timing was really good because while he had a job that he was doing really well at, apparently he had a rough day that day. And so was kind of looking at other things. And so he was really interested. He had a roommate who he got interested as well. I don't really know exactly. It gets a little fuzzy after that. So his roommate, I don't know if his roommate had a friend, or he had another friend. But long story short, there's 4 people that are all related to that one conversation that I had, and those guys they're all in class, and I think some of them are even done, and some of them are really close to being done. And so I'm fired up about those guys. There's some other people beyond just that group, but that group I'm really fired up about. I think there's big things in store for them and us.
There we go. Awesome. Love that. Increasing lead budget, talking to people across the table, simple things that anybody here can do as they're moving forward on this 40/40 challenge. Good job, Chris. All right, Lindar, you able to speak up? You were so still. I was like, is that her picture? Is she?
There she is.
Hi, how are y'all?
Good. Awesome.
Share a little bit about your background real quick.
Sure. Well, first off, this is such an incredible call. I have been enjoying this and just hearing everybody's hearts. That just makes my heart happy. We have a lot of love in this culture that we're building. And so anyway, thank you, Mike and Noel, for having me on this call. So grateful to be here. But yeah, my name is Lindar Cook, and I prior to this, I was an assistant manager, which I like to say I was a glorified bill collector. Hated the job. Did not enjoy it one bit. I was knocking at doors asking for money, and now I'm knocking on doors offering family and just help, and that totally different. Completely different.
I can imagine that would be a totally different. Now you're giving people hope, baby.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing on the 40/40 challenge so far, coming out of the gates here.
So I'm just now getting started with all of it, but I am super excited about it. I like to say it's the 40/40 vision, because I think of it more so just opportunities are passing through us, and sometimes we just got to open our eyes to it. Sometimes I feel like we have our eyes are shut a lot of the times when we walk into places or just wherever we go. Sometimes we're just so focused on what's going on in our lives. And so I like to call it the 40/40 vision. Just open your eyes and see what opportunities are out there, the people that you meet, and just simply saying, hey, how are you? And going from there.
Exactly. Instead of 20/20 vision, it's 40/40 vision.
40/40 vision. Exactly.
There you go.
So
what's a little real quickly before Mike was talking about with Chris on his lead plan and stuff like that, do you have a lead mix that you run with, or are you doing door knocks like Megan does? Tell us a little bit about how you're running your appointment.
Right now, I just have the GMR that I'm doing, and then a little bit of door knocks, but not so much on that really. I try to book as many appointments with the GMR, and then warm markets as well. So I try to go anywhere from, well, now with the 40/40 challenge that's going on, that's going to be my focus, but just the GMR right now. And then also, I like what there's a lot of people on this call that's clients, and that is very true. When I go into the homes, I make sure that I'm talking to them and asking them like, hey, what are you doing? And actually one of my newest team members, she was one of my clients, and she wrote her first 2 weeks did 13,000. I'm so proud of her, Andrea Dixon. So
wait a
was a client.
Nice job. So the client, just by simply asking the question while you're in front of somebody. That's huge. That's massive.
It is incredible. You just never know who you're going to meet and who you're going to help. And I mean, just like me, I hated my job. And you more than likely, all I have to say is if they're not in this business, they probably hate their jobs. Because it's just I'm just saying. We are surrounded by like my agency manager, Jeremy Patton. I life-changing. We're all world changers because we're here to I mean, of course, to make money, but we are here to help people, to reach out to people that hate their jobs, that hate their lives, and to change and be part of that change. And it's just the simple stepping out of your comfort zone to help somebody else that can just change their lives. So why not? The 40/40 vision.
Exactly.
Open your eyes.
You know, like you said, each of us on here were asked to be on here by somebody. We were given like if somebody said, here's an opportunity, all of us on here. And that's what we're doing when we do that for other people. So you're right. We are the world changers for sure.
We are.
Thanks for being on. We've got a couple more people we got to get to, but we appreciate you being on, Lindar.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So, Junior, can you open up your line real quick? Junior Korea. Let's see.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Okay. Tell us, tell us real quick, just like high level background, how you got started. And then I want to talk, I know you're doing a lot with list dialing and dialing in depth. So real quick, high level.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So Junior Korea, actually, Mike and Noel hired me. Actually, it was a guy that I met while going door to door doing solar panels. So I was working with them. And I got an opportunity to be a part of their team at 18 years old. So I'm excited to be a part of their team. And I'm excited to talk to my clients after listening to all of y'all. Holy cow. I'm going to call all my clients. I got 1,900 of them. I'm about to call them up. I'm excited. So it's an honor to be on here. Thank you for having me, Noel and Mike.
Tell us a little bit about what you're doing to do, because part of what you're doing is depth dialing for people, and you've always been pretty good about that. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing on the list dial.
Yeah, so you guys have always found your best people through depth. And I've learned that, and I've learned that from Andy. So as soon as we get somebody started, I'm immediately talking to them about building their future and then building their business. And I'm telling them I'm going to help them. And people don't fight me on it anymore because it's just the standard. It's what we do. They come in and they know I'm going to be helping them. So I have them make a list of names, whether it's a list of their top 5 people or top 10 or top 20. The more people you put on your list, the more chances we got at getting somebody. And every Friday morning we dial and our team is there and they listen. And I always love it because people that don't even have a list of names, by the time they 30 minutes in or an hour after listening to me call a list of names, they're like, hey, I got 2 people for you. I'm like, okay, let's see if I can squeeze them in.
I love it. And that's what Paul Roberts has done, that has been doing that and stuff like that. So again, you never know. You just invite them to be there, invite them to listen on, and eventually they'll come around and say, "Hey, I know somebody that'd be good at this." So I love what you're doing there, Junior. Thanks for being on. We have a couple more people we need to get to real quick. We're running out of.
I know. We got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes
running
left.
out of TikToks.
Okay.
All right, Jarrah, you can open up your line real quick. Tell us, where are you? Are you in Hawaii still, or where are you at?
I am. I'm in Hawaii. Can you hear me loud and clear?
We can hear you. You can do this all over the country. Tell you what.
I'm so grateful for that. We've got leads in Hawaii, so I'm out here helping families. Hiring people. Got 2 new agents that I hired. Getting them going this week. Out here, I hired Joe here in Honolulu, and I just hired Selena on the Big Island. She's going to be running appointments with me today, so just fired up for the opportunity.
That's cool. Now I'm curious. If she's on the Big Island, are you on Oahu still?
I am. I'm on Oahu, so she flew over to Oahu, and we're going to
Oahu.
Instead of driving over, she flew over.
Can't drive over.
Yeah.
All right. So she's
take a while.
That's cool. All right. And so some people are thinking, does Jarrah live in Hawaii?
So I'm based out of Albuquerque, and I live here, part of the year as I choose. And so I'm just out here, running business, helping families. I'm going to be actually flying back to Albuquerque tonight. Get on the dial session tomorrow to book appointments, helping families in Albuquerque, and then I'll be in El Paso and Las Cruces next week. Just hired an agent. We've got in El Paso, Robert, that he'll be running some appointments with me in El Paso. So just hiring people, helping them get going, trying to be more intentional about, being active and leading them through the process, running appointments with me, getting them going. So
awesome.
Isn't it cool? You can have that flexibility to be in Hawaii and run appointments. You can go to El Paso and run appointments. You can do it in Albuquerque. I mean, it's nuts. There's leads everywhere for this.
Grateful. We got leads everywhere, and lots of families that need help. Lots of people that are, needing opportunity. In fact, I was just thinking, just mentioning to Jake and Beret, that I was sitting at the dinner table with her mom. You just never know. And by me just asking a question, here they are, a year and a half, 2 years later, making 6 figures at, their mid-20s. Like, it's just amazing, the opportunity, and you just never know what people are looking for. And one thing that I've really started doing is, I don't know if you can see this, I added this to my ERS sheet. So I'm like, if I can get at least 10 referrals in every home, and then on the bottom of that, who do you know that, is looking, can help us out full-time or part-time? And I'll just, my manager, has me just ask, we're really short-staffed right now. We're hiring full-time and part-time. Who do you know? Just yesterday, I asked a client that, and she's like, well, my niece just moved here from Florida, and she's looking for work. Awesome. What's her name? I'll have my manager reach out, name and number. Like, just simple, asking a question.
Keep it simple. I love it. I
love
it.
Rocking.
Way to go, Jarrah. Appreciate you. We're going to run off to here, Joseph. We'll see you soon. Thanks you. All right, Joseph, real quick, high level, how'd you get started with us? And then let's talk a little bit more about this 40/40 challenge.
Cool. High level. Was not looking for work. Had been working in the mortgage business for a couple of years. Thought that was my golden ticket. And this was 2001 when I started. And in 2005, Paul Epstein called me up. Paul and I had known each other for a long time, done a lot of stuff that had never made money. So when he called me up and told me that he was doing insurance and he was going to make money, he tried to pull me over. And I'm grateful that he kept working even after I told him no the first 5 or 6 times. And then he introduced me to Mike and introduced me to Andy. And so once I saw that Paul was sticking with it and was starting to make money, and I got to get around Mike and meet Andy Albright and see a guy with a vision that was big enough to include me, I was in.
You know, that's an important point you just made. Maybe this is the point you were supposed to make, but Paul talked to you more than once about this. So just because you're talking to your friends or your family or whatever, you might need to chat a little bit, you know, later on. Maybe the timing changes for people. So maybe you've already talked to somebody. That doesn't mean that person's not going to do this. It's just come back around to it and talk to them again. Who knows? You never know. Or they can lead you to somebody else too. So that's it. Important.
Well, and for that, truthfully, it was seeing that Paul was sticking with it, regardless of whether I said yes or not. He was doing what he was doing. He was getting coached by you guys, and he wasn't hinging his doing it whether or not I got involved in his business. I'm grateful for that because he just kept working, and then when I came on board, it wasn't like I was like this, you know, superstar. I mean, I was a train wreck, and I had to come on and ask a ton of questions, and something that Mike said just has stuck with me. It says anything worth doing is worth sucking at first, and I sucked. I was bad, and so I just stuck around long enough to ask enough questions. This is a numbers game, and so this is, you know, so I was willing to be terrible at first to where now I'm not quite as terrible.
It just we get some weird audio feedback or something going on there.
Anyway,
All right. Well, listen, Joseph, thank you for being there. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for everybody that's taking the time to be here and listen in. I'm hoping y'all have learned something, as we've got a bunch of different tools and stories that people are using. If you heard one thing that you can take from today and start applying it today and tomorrow, and take your business and move that much closer to getting into this 40-40 challenge, you're invited to be a part of this. Thank you, Andy Albright, for having high expectations and being tenacious and relentless on maintaining those high expectations of us. It's helped us grow. It's helping the team grow. It's going to help you grow. And we appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.